The year is 1969. Nancy Pelosi is now the mother of four, wife of a successful banker in New York City. But her life is about to take a major detour. Tell me about coming to San Francisco from Baltimore, how you got here.
Well, my husband and I met in college in Washington, D.C. I went to Trinity College, Women's Catholic College, which I loved. He went to Georgetown, which at the time did not accept women into the college. And so there was a sort of a sister school relationship there. And then we married and lived in New York. He worked at a bank in New York and then came home to San Francisco. So that's when I came here in 1969. Had four children, would have one more here, born in San Francisco, Alexandra. So by the time we had our fifth child, our oldest that week was turning 6. So 5 and 6 years. So I'd say to anyone who wants to discuss the policies of the church in relationship to a woman's right to choose, come see me.
Okay. I take it he brought up the idea of coming to San Francisco.
Oh, yes, yes, it was coming home for him.
Right.
Yes. Yes,
and in
indeed.
1969, San Francisco was quite a place to be.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts about coming out
Well,
here?
it was also, with all that else that was going on, what was also happening then was the beginning of the whole technology revolution here. And he came back as part of working for a computer company.
As a lifestyle change, what was it like for you to be here?
Well, it was wonderful. I mean, we had 4 children in New York, and I love New York. It's a great place. And then to come and have so much more space, and it was wonderful to come here. San Francisco is heaven on earth. It really is. Now, I don't want to say that I didn't miss family, friends, and all the rest on the East Coast, and I loved our life there. But then San Francisco embraced us, and we loved it here.
And then tell me how you got involved in politics here.
Well, one of the ways we got in politics is when we came here, we had this big family, so we had a reasonable size home. People weren't buying big homes then unless they needed them, and we needed one. So some friends came to see our house, and they said, "Oh, you have a big house. We'll be having lots of Democratic events here." And so really, so that began a series of further involvement. I always volunteered for the Democrats, but that encouraged more of that. So my children were, you know, he's got the whole world in his hands. They'd sing, he's got the stuffers and the sealers in his hands for all the invitations we were sending out for Democratic events.
Tell me about the issues of that time versus today. What were the big things that Democrats were trying to take on?
But when I became chair of the party was, well, I first became Northern Chair in the late 70s and then early 80s, the chair of the full California Democratic Party. And my platform, our platform for the 1982 was opportunity, the Democratic difference. So opportunity is always the issue in the Democratic Party. But some of the issues were emerging in a stronger way, protecting the environment, of course, a woman's right to choose, some of those issues. And the LGBT issues, we didn't know it by that name, but our platform for 1982 was saying that a family, people define family any way they want. It was the most progressive recognition of LGBT families anybody had put forth. So it was a very progressive agenda. But our unity in the Democratic Party always centered around economic opportunity for all. America's working families, how they reach their fulfillment, have financial stability, are able to raise a family, educate their children, perhaps have a home, perhaps own it, and prepare for a dignified retirement. That's always been the core and the unifying force of the Democratic Party then and now.
And you talk about LGBTQ issues then, which now a lot of that, not all of it, but a lot of it is pretty much resolved, gay marriage and all of that. But back then that was pretty radical.
Well, it was a forward thinking. Right. But if you go to the Congress of the United States today, these issues are not resolved. We have to fight, unfortunately. But we've made so much progress. And we made progress because of the activism of LGBTQ community. That we can maneuver internally with all the force of it, but the outside mobilization really makes the difference.
Coming up.
Much as I regret that, he is the President of the United States, and we have to be optimistic about how we can work together.
Lingering pain after a heartbreaking loss. The lessons Pelosi says Democrats are still facing from the 2016 election.